I actually bought a house in Joshua Tree with my
Yeah.
partner Brian, and we got it for $132,000, bro, on 5 acres, a full open view.
Yeah.
Just an incredible house, built in 1969, a classic A-frame, beautiful house, and like
And you fought for that too. Talk a little bit about that.
Okay, so
I'm up to date.
So at the time, like, bro, we were going all in. It wasn't like, we were like me and Brian both really
Kinda like
hustled from the start. Like,
to interrupt, it's kind of like what you said earlier, because I know the story. When you see something you like and you overpaid for it a little bit, right?
Oh yeah.
To get it.
It's an incredible story, but I'll make it as short as possible for everyone out there. So, man, this house, like I said, we don't have like investors. We don't have mommy and daddy. Like, here's the money. Like, no, this is all money saved up from like doing music videos, like saving. Like, the house, think about it. It's 132,000. You come in, put 20-30% down. That's not that much. Came in, I didn't want to compete. So I was like, you know how people talk about the housing market, like, oh man, we submitted offer after offer and we keep getting turned away. Like, that would mess my confidence up, where I'm like, if I'm coming into something, like, that's going to hurt my heart if I'm trying to like fight for things. Like, I don't like to fight for things. I like to, you want it that much better, get it. I'll find something and build it myself. So I found a house on Zillow. It was been on the market 169 days or something. Mm-hmm. Something crazy.
Yeah.
169 days, no one wanted this house. Mm-hmm. I see the A-frame. That's what made me want the house, was the vintage look to it.
For sure.
So
I had the vision.
Yeah, I had the vision. I was like, yo, and I stayed at the Madonna Inn a few times before that. Mm-hmm. And I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. Like a vintage hotel. I've shot there a few times. Like, I specifically drove 3.5 hours to go shoot at the Madonna Inn. So I'm like, if I'll drive that far to go shoot at like a retro room, I know someone will drive 2 hours to Joshua Tree to come film at a house on the desert with no neighbors, no interruptions. That's the easiest shoot in the world. Saw the house. It was in poor condition. Contacted the agent. He's like, oh yeah, this house, like, no one wants this. Like, you sure? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, can you meet me out here? I'm like, yeah, I'm on the way right now. Bounced up. Wife, son jumped out there. Skirt. Got there. He's like, yeah, you sure you want this? I look around. I'm like, damn, this shit's fire. No neighbors, nothing. I'm like, this is perfect. Film set heaven. It could be as loud as you want. You could shoot off guns here, like whatever. It's an incredible property. Boom. I'm like, all right, babe, come on, let's go celebrate. Cause I'm like, yo, I already was like good on the money. Like, everything was ready to go. So we go celebrate in the national park. Start drinking beers, sunset. Like, it's like, damn, we did it. Like, excited. The guy calls. He's like, hey, buddy, unfortunately, there's already been an offer accepted and we're like so backlogged, like we don't even know what's going on. Like, it's Joshua Tree.
Is that what he talks about?
These guys are he's like old cowboy guy, like
sick.
Straight lost in the sauce. And I'm like, what are you talking about? This shit been on the market 169 days.
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking they're trying to play me, like, damn, they're trying to get a little more money because I know that type of game. So I call my real estate homie, Danny Burgess. Shout out Danny Burgess, the coldest realtor in the Bay Area. I could go on and on. You know, that's a hot market. He laughed at me. He's a childhood friend doing $1 million plays in the Bay. So I'm like, Danny, I need you, bro. And me and Danny was one of my first friends. I've known this guy since kindergarten. Like, his dad was my basketball coach, like legendary shit. So Danny got my back. Danny is like, all right. Danny starts getting on the phone, starts shaking and moving. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, D, someone does have it tied up. And I'm like, no way. Like, come on, dog. You got to get this for me. He's like, let me see what I could do. Bro, he calls me back in 72 hours. Like, all right, D, we got the house. I'm like, how the hell did you get these people out of contract? Some real hard stuff to do when you start dealing with like house paperwork. We won't get into that, but yeah, man, got the house. It was out of here, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was a good one.
That's awesome.
That started the journey.
You did a lot to it. I mean, I'll definitely throw up some pictures as well. Is it still on Airbnb and PeerSpace and all that?
I took it off PeerSpace. So just to give everyone
also
crazy game. Let me just tell you, just to get back to it. So the house, we bought it for $132,000 at 30%. everything came to closing costs around like $47K. It's like a $25K play to get the crib. Our house, because of inflation and the housing market, I'm just going to put it like this. Since we bought that house, every month, that house has gone up $5,900 a month in value. So even with us doing nothing, we're making $5,900 because of the value being added onto that. So just really, start looking into real estate. That shit is that's the shit I'm getting into.
Yeah.
That shit is big boy, big player, monopoly shit. I'm about to get the boardwalk tatted right here. Next time you see me on the next interview, you'll see the boardwalk.
Sick. Get
So, yeah.
a couple houses on there.
And then
a little
the
greenhouse.
hotel.
Yeah, the hotel. That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, definitely that's wild, especially since like COVID and everything. The housing market's everyone thinks it's going down, but I mean, it's
not in California.
Not in California.
This is a buyer's market.
Yep. And you did a lot to the house too that improved the value. I know you added, I don't know if you did anything like with the water or sewage, but I know you added AC, which is important for.
I did a lot, man.
Which is important because no one wants to shoot in a house in the desert with no AC.
Yeah, no, the AC, I think we spent like 10 or 15,000 on the AC. That was like my main thing. I was like, it's the desert. Shit gets hot as hell out here.
Yeah.
Like, gotta make sure people are in here cooled off if they're shooting. So that was like the number one. That was what we spent the most on, the AC.
So do you run it as like a Airbnb now, or are you kind of just like, it's more of just like your vacation home that's just making the money on the side?
That thing's making money every month without us having to do anything.
Yeah.
Just off the price rising. It's a hot area. Joshua Trees became, like the number one tourist place on like the hipster cool side. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, not family, if you're searching Airbnb, like cool, fun places to go, me and my wife or me and my, so-and-so, like Joshua Trees.
It's like number one for sure. Yeah, they have all the crazy Airbnbs out there.
I already saw this coming though. Man, I got some crazy plans. I got hotels built that I've had rendered and all the numbers.
I've seen you posting them for a while.
Yeah. I took it down because I had there was about to be a big play with that. And they wanted me to take it down, and they ran everything. But the head guy, he's this big boss dude, and he didn't see the vision of Joshua Tree.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, this is the next Palm Springs before Palm Springs. Like,
think if you're buying, it's right next to Palm Springs.
Think about if you're buying Palm Springs real estate 20 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna. There's not much out there because I took a trip out there 2021 last year. And it was pretty cool. It was like my first time. It was cool. I mean, I rented like one of those trendy Airstream trailers. Did that whole thing. It was cool. I mean, there's literally nothing in the town though. Like, it's
just like vacation vibe, like just
it's
off
cool.
the grid type stuff.
The national park's fire though. It's cool. There's a lot of cool rocks and stuff. It's hot though.
It gets sticky out there.
Yeah, it's crazy. But that's sick, dude.